it going, Blazers? Working to bring you specifications you can relate to, so you can have an educated decision on your purchases. So thank you to CRKT for providing this to the Pass Around group. This is the Ruger Incendiary. This is a Robert Carter design. This is going to be how it kind of sits in your pocket, so you can kind of start that off. So this is going to be a little bit different video too, because this brings up a different topic as far as other firearms companies that make knives, or at least brand knives that are made for them. So this is an example of a pretty decent way of doing it. This is a Ruger made by CRKT, and then that's actually a decent collaboration. And this is kind of where it goes into something that we're going to be going kind of in different tangents here, but it comes back to I feel is a very disrespectful thing to a brand. Like it doesn't make sense to me. It makes sense in a way because it is a money thing where they're probably making a lot of money off of it for stamping their name on it. But I think for anybody that's in that division, do they actually use the knives? Is it something that they carry? It's just really disheartening. So I would hope that this is a call to arms. But anyway, this is something that is something for Smith and Wesson. I think Smith and Wesson, they acquired company Taylor Brands back in 2016. So they make like Charade, Old Timer, Uncle Henry, Imperial, and then now they also make or help to make the knives for Smith and Wesson. So that's where it comes into a factor. They are probably some of the worst knives. I mean, there's probably some out there. If you know which ones they are for Smith and Wesson, let me know, because the ones that I've tried are complete garbage and are very much a disrespect to the name of Smith and Wesson. And then also to stamp on it MNP, military and police, and some of the knives that they offer under that name brand I feel is horrible. So sorry for kind of calling that out, but let me know if you found one that is fantastic. You would recommend it to your friends, you give it as gifts, you'd kind of put your reputation on the line for those knives. Let me know for that, because if also anybody that has a Smith & Wesson handgun, firearm, you probably don't own a Smith & Wesson knife, is my guess. I could be very wrong on that. I could be just totally off base. But from the ones that I've handled, they are garbage. And that's really hard to say for it because, I mean, you have a brand that is kind of a legendary thing as far as their quality, heritage, and then you go and bring out Smith & Wesson knives, kind of drawing off of that name and stamping it onto a product that is inferior, is my opinion on that. Let me know in the comments. I know it's going to be something that might kind of ruffle some feathers. Maybe people will be on board with it. But going to this knife here, this is made by CRKT. So CRKT produces it for Ruger. And that's going to be this knife here. So this one's kind of in the AR type of inspiration for the knife. I'm going to explain also why those are there later on. But this is going to be the one for a Robert Carter one. And then also Ruger has a really good one here for the LCK, for the lightweight carry. There's also two different styles for this. So for Ruger, they're offering a pretty decent knife for good value, and that's in comparison to Smith & Wesson. I don't have any. I had some. I had button locks, which were horrible, that interfered with the back spacer, and they're just horrible knives. Again, if you have some, I would like to know. I would experience it. I would give it a try, but let me know as far as what you think on those. But that is this collaboration, that partnership, Ruger and CRKT. So they're able to kind of work with that, have that supply chain to offer decent knives, quality knives for a good value. And then this is also an old one. So this was made by Benchmade. So the HK They were made by Benchmade. Now they're made by Hogue. So that's also an excellent collaboration, offering very good value. Even these old ones, I sent this back to Benchmade to get sharpened, and they still do a lifetime sharpening on a knife that they don't produce anymore, but it is still a Benchmade knife. So that's where it's just those collaborations. Like, if you're gonna have a brand, you would want a product that would represent your brand to the best of its ability. So when they are taking that knife out of their pocket and then showing it off to people and going, okay, well, this is the knife that I have, there's got to be something that makes sense for that. So yes, it makes a lot of money, probably for the Smith and Wesson line. People buy them, people like them, and that's where, if you love it, great. Let me know which one you love, because I would like to experience it. I would like to get my hands on it. Maybe find that gem. Maybe find that great knife within that lineup. And that's what I would like to do for that. But going back to this one, we're going to come back to it because there's a lot to kind of unload there. Because I started with some of those as far as the Smith and Wesson knives. And that's also another reason maybe not to buy different knives. Because you won't know any better. Like, you love the one you have. It does what you need it to. Don't upgrade. Don't go down the rabbit hole. Stay in that path. But we're going to get into this one here. So 4.8 ounces for this knife. It is a thumb disc knife. So it is a tanto blade for it. So as I go back to giving you guys information that you can relate to, I give you ounces, I give you weights, I give you measurements. But what does that mean? So I've seen, like, on the Knife Beater channel, he has the batteries. So I'm going to coins. So this is where basically this knife, 4.8 ounces, is roughly 24 quarters. So about 0.2 ounces per coin, 24 coins, 4.8 ounces. And then also, if I have some oddities, then I'll throw in a penny. So that would be now 4.9 ounces, because that's roughly a 0.1 ounce. So I'll be kind of doing measurements that way. So if you guys want to follow along, if you want to grab your own roll of quarters and some pennies, you can pick that up. When I say it's 4.8 ounces and 24 quarters, you can pick up your 24 quarters and actually get a feel in hand as far as what that really feels like. Because at least in my mind, like, if you tell me it's 5 ounces, like, I kind of have an idea what that is, but until you give me 5 ounces, then it's like, oh, okay, well, that's how it is in my hand. So that's where I'm going to go with that. So if you like that measurement, let me know. But that's kind of the plan for that, as far as to add that in there for a way to relate. You can get this for much less than the MSRP. MSRP is $59.99. It's much less now, so I don't want to quote it because it might change from the time that you see this video, but you can probably find this one for much less than that. For the Lyman pull gauge, to actually open it up, so I was able to hook around the thumb disc, and then it's a 1 pound, 13.4 ounces to get that D10 open, which is good for thumb stud, thumb disc knives, usually under 2 pounds, normally with a flipper tab. I say 2 to 3 pounds is my preference, what I enjoy. For this one, has a lot of different opening methods as well. So you're going to have basically the thumb, you're going to have a middle finger deployment for it. You're going to have a pinch and roll, so you basically do pinch and then roll it out. You're going to also have traditional, so you can grab it with 2 hands, open it up as well, so if you don't want to scare folks. You also do have kind of inertia, so let's see if I can get it. Yep, so you can do inertia for it. So that's why I don't call it gravity, because you're actually basically creating like a multiplication of gravity. Inertia flip is what I call that. So for this one, as far as the blade, I measured from the tip to this rounded edge is going to be about the 2.9 inches, and to basically the bottom part of this handle is a 3.1. So it is kind of on that fence. So especially if you have legalities for 3 inches, you're going to be right on that as far as that mark. And this is a tanto blade for the knife. It does have a hollow grind, basically for this belly, and then for the tip, you're going to have a flat grind. So it's going to give you a strong tip to be able to work with. It has 8CR13 MOV, so it is a more of the budget steel. So you're going to be able to use it. I'm not going to be able to hold an edge forever, not really a long time for it, but it will be able to strap back. If you don't know what a strap is, leave it in the comments and I'll answer that as well. Otherwise, a lot of other people cover that more so. But you can strap it back and sharpen it back easily for this. It handles about 4 inches for it. So behind the edge thickness, so where that comes into play as far as where it starts with that thickness, and then so as you're cutting through media, especially some things that don't give easily, so cutting through paper doesn't really matter because you're just getting that fine tip and actually seeing if that's in good shape. But once you cut into something thicker, double wall cardboard, cheese, then you're going to have something that will actually not spread and not actually be able to just push that blade through it. So that's where we're going to start with this different transition from the blade behind the edge thickness. So for this one, behind the edge thickness for it came to about 27 thousandths for this belly. So that's about 7 sheets of paper, so you can get that out and kind of see where that is. And then you're going to have the tip side. This one was about 10 sheets of paper and about 36 thousandths for this as far as the belly for the tip. So that's kind of where you have for those the right hand tip up, basically right hand, left hand tip up. So it does actually offer both sides. So ambidextrous carry, you got to do it in that way. So currently in right hand, this is going to be with the seam of the pocket. Right hand carry, put it on this side. If it's left hand carry, also seam of the pocket. You do not want to carry this left-handed with this pocket clip, because if this opens up, you're going to be shoving your hand into that blade, and you don't want to do that. So that's the good part, or the purpose of different carry methods for a tip up orientation. Doesn't matter as much for tip down, but tip up matters a lot. So going back full circle for it, if anybody has a say so for Smith and Wesson, or even Smith and Wesson, if you guys want to send something that you guys are super proud of, because I saw a Made in America one that was like, I think it was like $200 or something. It was astronomical, and it says it's made in America, but it doesn't look very good. Like I don't have like this much of an angst towards a brand as much as Smith and Wesson for the fact that it takes a name and it sells off of a name more than the quality product. So you have a quality firearm that you sell to people, and then you have a not so much quality basically cutlery piece. So it might ruin people's ideas as far as knives, because like, okay, if you have a quality firearm and you have knives by that brand, you would expect that's what the quality would be, and they might think that that's all that's out there, which it isn't. There's a lot better. So good job to Ruger and CRKT for doing that job. Good job to H&K for having their collaborations. But size-wise, you're going to look at it as far as Rat 2, as far as comparison here. So you're going to see the tallness on the blade is quite a bit more for that. But it is a nice knife overall. For my preference on it, as far as buy, borrow, or avoid, I would say borrow. This one has a good, strong working tip, but the pocket clip, the retention on that was very low. So this one, actually the retention on it, actually pull it out of the pocket. This is more of a pocket hanger and not a pocket clip for retention. So it basically was 9.8 ounces to take it out of pocket. So that's the amount of resistance that this clip offered. Most times you're at up about 2 pounds of retention. So granted, this is going to be good to not rip up your pants, but it just is a more of a pocket hanger than something that's more secure and hold into the pocket. So that's my opinion on that. Let me know as far as what you guys think about things. But this would be a borrow knife, is my preference or my opinion on it. And then also, let me know as far as, again, if you found a excellent Smith and Wesson knife, let me know what that is. And if you're with Smith and Wesson, I'm sorry, I don't like them. Like, if you guys have one that you like and you want to send it around, I'll look at it too, or I'll buy it. If you guys say that this is the pinnacle of what we have to offer and you just were looking at something horrible, I'll pick it up myself. But let me know in the comments down below what you think. And as coined off my kids. And that's about all I have to say about that one today.